All right, guys, welcome back. So, yep, I got another load loaded in here. So it's 4 totes of pine and then 1 hardwood one in the back here. It's hard to tell, but that's that. So I got it plumbed in now with the vent. So that comes right off of there. There's a fan hooked to that power vent, which will come out right there. So that's what we got. So I got the new controller in there to operate the moisture, so the fan turns on and off. So I think this test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it to 120. I won't have the fan working yet because I want to get it up to temp, see where the moisture's at, and then kind of do a 10% differential from there. I'm thinking if it's anything like last time with all this wet wood going in there, it's going to be around above 70%. And I think what I'm going to do is have it go down to 50-55%. I'm going to leave it like that for 24 hours, crank it up to 130. I'm just going to let the fan do its thing. I'll monitor it to make sure that it's sucking enough moisture out fast enough so that it's not just running and running. We'll see though, I don't know. If it can, it'll probably hold the heat pretty well in there. So I'm just going to have to really kind of pay attention to it and what the moisture is doing and so on. And then just keep working my way up to 140. And then I'm going to shoot for 3 to 5 days, 5 at the most. The last 24 hours though, after I know I got most of the moisture out, I'm going to run the dehu. I'm not going to run it. I'm not even going to run the fan. I'm just going to let it bake in there. The last 24 hours, the most of the moisture that I know has escaped and the levels are way down, then I'll run the dehu for a full 24 hours after the temperature comes back down to get whatever moisture I can, the rest of it out, and see how that goes. So obviously I'll chart everything like I did last time. I'll pay attention. I'm not sure if I'll open the doors or not. I'll try not to. I may open it the day before or right before I do the dehu to let the temperature comes down quicker, and then shut it and then let it run, because otherwise it takes forever for that temperature to come back down. So, which is fine, but so yeah, that's kind of the plan. So I'm going to get her shut her and make sure everything's operating correctly, and then walk away from her. So, and I'll probably do some videos from time to time within this test so you can kind of see it going. So yeah, stay tuned. The next part of this video you'll see in a couple seconds here. Hopefully there's a good update, and yeah, so stay tuned. All right, guys, well, it's been 8 hours and 40 minutes. Hard to tell, but I mean, you ain't gonna be able to tell, but she's blowing. You can see some of like the moisture. I don't know if you can see the moisture on there, but I mean, that's hot, super moist air there. So I think I let it heat for I think a little over 6 hours to 120. I ended up plugging or turning on the dehumidifier. I'm like, well, I don't know why I'm not doing that. So I probably got, I don't know how many gallons from doing that. And then so for the last 3 hours, I've had cranked to 140, got the exhaust fan running. I got it set at, I think, 40%. And the heat's holding at 138, 140. And the moisture hasn't gone up. So I went from 120 to 140. So it just tells me that running this fan is working, because it should be in the 70%. Because the last time I went from 120 to 130 to the 140 with the other wood, same wood, or same batch of wood, I guess you could say, it was well in the upper 70s. So, and you can feel the moisture coming out with the heat. So the fact that we're able to hold the temp that we're at and the moisture the same is good. So we're getting moisture out, temp's holding. I mean, the fan's probably gonna run on the exhaust fan for a while, which is fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'd rather have the fans running than the dehu running. So far so good. I mean, I guess I can't complain. We're getting moisture out. Heat's staying the same. We're not losing too much heat too fast to where we can't heat it up. And I'm happy with holding around 138, 140 degrees. I'm gonna keep it like this. I'll monitor it over, I mean, I think it's around 7 o'clock or so now. Yeah, a little over 7. And I'll come back out probably around 10 and around midnight and check on it, see where we're at with that. Yeah, you know, the boiler's going to be working more now because we're constantly heating. It's not shutting off as of yet. But the fact that we can keep it at this temp and the moisture's not going crazy and we're venting it is huge. I mean, that's going to, I would think, exponentially speed up the drying process here. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's only been 9 hours and so far so good. So I got a feeling if I turn that exhaust fan off, if I didn't have that on right now, the dehumidifier wouldn't be working. It's too hot. We'd probably be well into the 50s, 60s, if not 70s already. So, I mean, the fact that I can already get it to 138 degrees, usually I would struggle to get it there because the humidity would be too high. And now that we're there is good, with the humidity fairly low. So I'm gonna leave it run like this. I mean, in the boiler, I'm burning just scraps right now. It's all the pine cutoffs. It's literally garbage I'm throwing in there, so it's not like I'm wasting, you know, good wood like this oak here. So I don't really care. I mean, it's barely running anyway, so yeah, that's kind of a little update. That's probably gonna almost do it for video 1 here on the new batch with the exhaust vents. So I'm pretty, so far so good. Like I said, we're only 9 hours in and it's looking good. I mean, the heat's staying high, moisture's lower. So I think I still feel like the last day though, after I do a full heat cycle, which hell, we're already at 140. I think maybe after a day, depending on where the moisture's at, I may just crank it to 150 and then 160. We'll see if I can do that. If I can do that, it's huge. I wish there'd be a way to gauge how much moisture we're losing going out venting. That'd be nice to be able to monitor that, but I don't know if there's a way to do that. Probably not. So, but yeah, no, I mean, that'd be crazy if we can keep this to 3 to 4 to 5 days. I'd like to be under 5 days if possible. 3 would be ideal, but who knows? We'll see. So this is video 1. Obviously, tomorrow I'll do another video, so to give you guys a follow-up on how it's going, you know, what the readings are at. So like right now, like I said, we're at 138 degrees, 140 give or take, and right around 40-45% humidity and holding. It hasn't gone up, it hasn't gone down, and like I said, we're venting right now. Dehumidification's not going. We're not circulating air. All we're doing is pulling the heat and the moisture out right now as we're heating it. So, which is good. So the heater fan's running, so the boiler's working every probably half hour, 45 minutes, whatever, no big deal. So, and I got my chart on my app for all the readings and stuff, so I can log it all night and read it in real time, which is good. So if I got to come out and adjust, I can do that. I can shut the fan off from the house and so on. Lower the temp if I choose to. So I feel like right now we're in a good place. It's going okay. I do have to insulate the pipe that I hooked up the fan to. It's kind of venting, or it's bleeding heat, but it's fine for now. I'll get to that. But man, it's hot outside still. It's in the 80s today. It rained, it's humid. But yeah, no, stay tuned. Tomorrow I should have a follow-up to this to see how the results are looking. As far as the humidity goes, I'm hoping the humidity is either the same and it's cycling the heat. Because if it's cycling the heat, which means we're holding temp, moisture's lower, moisture should be lower. So like I said, you're not going to be able to see, but I don't know if you can even tell, but the fans are open, it's blowing. I mean, if I held my hand here long enough, she'd be wet. I mean, you could, I don't know if you can see that, you could kind of see moisture, right? Like right in here. I mean, if I do that, just touch my face, I can, it's moist. So there's moisture there. So I mean, so far so good. I mean, she's working. And that fan, I mean, I don't think that exhaust vent fan pulls a lot. I mean, like I said, it's just a fan. It's probably way less than what the fans running in the kiln are. So, but yeah, so stay tuned. So far so good. I'm actually kind of excited. I mean, yeah, it doesn't pull as much as me opening the doors, you know, letting the moisture out, but the fact that we're holding temp and pulling moisture is key. If versus just letting it vent all on its own. Now we're sucking it out. Whether that's good or not, I don't know. But so far, so good. So yeah, stay tuned. Next video I'll have would be tomorrow at some point. Probably have it run for over 24 hours, and we'll give a little update. Maybe I'll crank the heat. Maybe I'll leave it the same. I don't know. So yeah, stay tuned. And as always, keep burning.